This 1976 Mercedes-Benz drove 4.6 million kilometers on its original engine, and this one was the Japanese sledgehammer that humiliated the Germans in the 90s. It was so reliable that owners joked they only sold them when they got bored. But then there's this one. Top Gear tried to burn it, drown it, and even drop it off a building. The car still run. No wonder why it became the ultimate warzone vehicle. But there are a lot more cars like that, and for this video I put together a list of 10 old cars that were built to last forever. And if there's ever been a car that truly defined this phrase, that's gotta be the Mercedes-Benz W123. It was produced between 1976 and 1985. The W123 wasn't flashy, fast, or cheap, but one thing is for sure, the car was engineered to outlive its owners. This car comes from an era when Mercedes engineering was more about longevity than cost cutting. Back then, cars were massively overbuilt with thick steel, bulletproof drivetrains and a focus on reliability. The W123 was offered with a wide range of inline 4, 5 and inline 6 petrol or diesel engines, and could be had as a sedan, coupe or wagon. And the legendary ones that earned a reputation for being slow but absolutely unkillable were the 240D and 300D. The W123 quickly became the go-to for taxi companies, as they were cheap to run, easy to fix and able to rack up huge miles without trouble. Even today, you'll still find them in service in parts of the world where modern cars with all their fragile electronics simply wouldn't survive. And then there's a story that sealed this car's immortality. A Greek taxi driver named Gregorios clocked 4.6 million kilometers in his 1976 240D. That's the equivalent of driving to the moon and back 6 times. No engine swap or total rebuild, just regular maintenance and oil changes. Mercedes eventually took the car off him and put it in their museum, probably because it was embarrassing their new models. So what was the secret behind the W123's reliability? Simple, they made it like a tank, using extra thick steel, rock-solid suspension, electronics that were as complicated as a toaster, and engines that were designed to run at half their potential so they'd never be stressed. The result was a car so tough that it became the backbone of taxi fleets across the globe. That's why decades later the W123 is still rolling, while newer cars are waiting for parts back at the dealership. The next car we got is the 70 and 80 Toyota Land Cruiser. And if the Mercedes W123 was built to survive city streets, the Land Cruiser was built to handle everything beyond them. Produced between mid-80s to late 90s, these cars quickly became known as some of the toughest 4x4s ever built. The 70 series was simple, no-nonsense version, boxy, rugged, and easy to repair anywhere. Farmers, aid workers, and even the United Nations relied on it to move people and supplies through places where roads barely existed. The 80 series came with more comfort and tech, but it never lost the durability that made the name legendary. They were powered by reliable inline-6 petrol and diesel engines paired with strong axles and Toyota's bulletproof four-wheel drive system. That's why even today you'll still find them working daily in remote areas. There are countless stories of Land Cruisers covering 500,000 to over a million kilometers, most of the times on original engines and regular maintenance. So what made them last so long? Toyota kept them simple and overbuilt. Engines ran at low stress, parts were easy to swap, and the design focused on strength instead of luxury. As a result, these trucks became trusted by aid groups, militaries, and off-road enthusiasts all over the world. Today, the 70 and 80 series are more than just old SUVs. They're survival tools, cultural icons, and rolling proof that sometimes the simplest designs last the longest. Now, before we move on to the next car, let me tell you more about today's sponsor, GetPair and their Max Pro adapter. I've had mine in the car for the past few weeks and honestly, it just makes everything smoother. It comes in a sleek, compact box with the adapter, a user manual, and 2 USB cables, whether you'll need a USB-C or USB-A. In my case, I'll be using the USB-A one. Once it's plugged in, a quick safety warning pops up, no watching videos while driving, which is fair enough. First off is a 3-in-1 connection, wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, and a full Android OS built in. And yeah, you can stream Netflix, YouTube, Prime Video, and even live TV in here. By the way, the Max Pro adapter has a USB port on the back which handles up to 128 gigs of storage, meaning that you can stream all your movies, music, and podcasts offline with no cell signal needed. So if you're tired of the cord mess and want to upgrade your daily drive without swapping your car stereo, check out the GetPair Max Pro adapter from the link in the description of this video, or go directly to getpair.com and grab yours. Thank you GetPair for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. If you're talking about cars that are practically indestructible, you can't skip the Volvo 240. Built between 1974 and 1993, the 240 was all about safety, simplicity, and durability. Its boxy, no-nonsense design wasn't meant to impress, it was built to survive, and that's exactly what it did. Powered by a range of 4 and 6-cylinder engines, the 240 was never about speed. The car was about reliability under any conditions. These cars could handle cold winters, hot summers, rough roads, and decades of daily driving without breaking a sweat. Diesel versions and durable petrol engines are especially famous for running hundreds of thousands of kilometers with only basic maintenance. The Volvo 240 was everywhere. Families trusted it for decades, taxi companies used it around the world, and you could throw almost anything at it. Some examples have been recorded driving well over a million kilometers on their original engines. The secret behind its longevity was once again simplicity. Thick steel for safety, straightforward engines, durable suspension, and minimalist electronics meant there was not a lot that could go wrong. It was easy to maintain and easy to repair almost anywhere in the world. Even today, the Volvo 240 is a cultural icon. Its boxy shape is instantly recognizable, and its reputation for indestructibility makes it a favorite among collectors, enthusiasts, and anyone who wants a car that just refuses to die. The next car is the Lexus LS400, and back in the 1989 when it came out, the goal was simple: build a luxury car that could rival and quietly humiliate the German giants, and that's exactly what happened. The LS400 arrived with buttery-smooth V8 power, whisper-quiet refinement, and a level of reliability that was almost insulting to the competitors. Underneath the sleek, elegant exterior was engineering designed for decades of trouble-free driving. The 4-liter V8 was powerful but never stressed. The electronics were simple compared to the European rivals, and everything from the suspension to the interior components was built to last. Owners joke that the only reason they ever sold their LS400 was because they got bored, not because anything broke. The LS400 redefined what a luxury sedan could be. It was smooth, fast enough, and so quiet you could hear a pin drop on the highway. But the real hero was its bulletproof reliability. Many LS400s are still running strong today, racking up 500,000 to over a million kilometers with nothing more than just regular maintenance. For this car, Lexus combined precision engineering, simple electronics, and overbuilt mechanical components to make a car that could be driven daily for decades. Unlike their competitors from that era, the LS400 didn't demand constant attention, it just kept going. Even now, the LS400 is a symbol of Japanese engineering excellence, proving that a car can be both luxurious and nearly indestructible at the same time. Moving on, we got the indestructible Civics from the 90s, especially the EG and AK generations. They became a legend for reliability and simplicity. Small, lightweight, and affordable, these Civics could handle decades of daily driving with minimal fuss, making them the go-to choice for commuters, students, and first-time car buyers worldwide. Under the hood, the engines were simple, efficient, and built to last. Regular maintenance was all they needed. No fancy electronics to fail and no complicated systems to break down. Some owners have reported Civics reaching 500,000 kilometers or more, still running on their original engines. So, why it became iconic? Beyond reliability, the AJ and AK generations carved a place in car culture. They were cheap to modify, easy to repair, and quick enough to be fun, giving birth to a generation of tuners and car enthusiasts. Yet, despite sporty modifications some owners threw at them, these Civics could still handle the daily grind without complaint. Honda combined lightweight engineering, simple but durable engines, and low-stress components to create a car that could survive years of hard use. They were glamorous, but they didn't need to be. They just kept going. Even today, these Civics are still everywhere on the road. When people talk about cars built to last, the BMW E30 3 Series often comes up, and for good reason. Produced from 1982 to 1994, the E30 wasn't just reliable, it was fun to drive, simple to maintain, and built like a tank for a European sedan. The E30 came with a range of 4 and 6 cylinder engines, including the famous M20 inline-6. Even though it was sporty and engaging, these engines were also durable and easy to repair, making the E30 a car that could survive decades of daily driving. Many examples have been clocked over 500,000 kilometers without major engine rebuilds. So why it became iconic? Well, the E30 wasn't just about longevity. It offered excellent handling, a driver-focused chassis, and a timeless design that's still loved today. It became a favorite for enthusiasts, daily drivers, and even racers, proving that the car could be both practical and exciting. The secret behind its durability was BMW focusing on mechanical simplicity over engineered components and solid materials. Nothing was overly complicated, making it easy for owners and mechanics to keep these cars on the road for decades. Even now, the E30 is a symbol of classic BMW engineering, beloved by collectors and everyday drivers alike. It's proof that a car can be engaging, stylish, and built to last all at the same time. Next we have the Mercedes W124, and this one is basically the 123's grow-up. The car was produced from 1984 to 1997 and it was built to outlast nearly everything on the road. Strong, precise, and engineered to survive decades of daily use. This E-Class quickly became the benchmark for reliability in the exclusive car world. Under the hood, the W124 offered a variety of 4, 5, and 6 cylinder engines, including bulletproof diesels like the 250D and 300D, along with smooth and durable petrol engines. These cars were never about flashy tech or gimmicks, they were about lasting forever with minimal fuss. Many examples still clock well over 500,000 kilometers, sometimes even more, all on the original engines. In Albania, the W124 is practically a national institution, and because down there people loved this car so much, they were everywhere, and spare parts were widely available. The W124 was built with thick steel, durable suspension, simple electronics, and engines designed to run at low stress, making this car nearly indestructible. Even now, the W124 proves that luxury, comfort, and reliability can coexist, and that same cars are simply made to last forever. If there's a car that laughs in the face of destruction, it's gotta be the Toyota Hilux. Built throughout the 70s and 90s, this pickup wasn't designed to be flashy, it was designed to survive anything. The Hilux quickly earned a reputation for being nearly unkillable. Engines are durable, suspension's tough, and the body is practically indestructible if you keep up with the basic maintenance. The Hilux reliability, simplicity, and ability to handle extreme conditions also made it the perfect vehicle for war zones. With minimal minimal maintenance, it could carry supplies or people through regions where roads barely existed. Videos and reports have shown these pickups being used by militias and all kinds of groups because they simply won't quit, even under fire or extreme conditions. Top Gear famously tried to destroy one with fire, floods, and even dropping it from heights, but that didn't work, it still ran. So what was the secret behind this car's longevity? Toyota overbuilt nearly every part. Engines were simple but strong, frames were tough, and there were few electronics to fail. Maintenance was easy, the replacement parts were widely available. The perfect recipe for a car that could survive decades of abuse. Even today, Hiluxes from 70s, 80s and 90s are still running strong worldwide. It's a pickup that's as notorious as it is reliable, capable of handling everything from farm work to conflict zones. Then there's the Jeep Cherokee XJ, which wasn't flashy and it wasn't luxurious, but it didn't need to be. Produced from 1984 to 2001, the XJ quickly earned a reputation as a tough, reliable, go-anywhere SUV. Its boxy shape, solid frame, and simple mechanics made it a favorite for off-road enthusiasts, adventurers, and anyone who needed a vehicle that could handle rough terrain without complaint. Under the hood, the Cherokee XJ offered straight 6- and 4-cylinder engines that were built to last. Paired with a rugged suspension and part-time or full-time 4-wheel drive, it could handle anything you threw at it. Many XJs are still running well over 400,000 kilometers, most of the times with the original engines. This car could tow, haul, and explore, making it the perfect SUV for work and play. Off-roaders loved it because it was predictable, durable, and endlessly capable. Jeep kept this car simple. Strong engine, solid frame, straightforward electronics, and a suspension designed to take a beating all combined to make the Cherokee XJ one of the most enduring SUVs ever made. It was built to be fixed, upgraded, and driven for decades. And for the last car on the list, I saved the G-Wagon. The Mercedes G-Class didn't start life as a luxury SUV, it was born for the military. Its design was simple but brilliant, with inline 4, 5, and 6 engines, bulletproof 4-wheel drive system, a solid body-on-frame chassis, and minimal electronics. The G-Class was overbuilt in every way. It didn't care about comfort, luxury, or gadgets. It cared about getting from point A to point B, no matter what. Even today, decades later, many W460 and W461 models are still in daily use in places where modern SUVs would struggle to survive. Mercedes overbuilt everything in this car. The frame could handle extreme stress, engines ran below their maximum potential to avoid wear, suspension and drivetrain were nearly bulletproof, and the simplicity of electronics made repair possible almost anywhere. This car was a vehicle designed to be driven, fixed, and driven again for decades. Let me know if you guys owned any of these cars and comment below what was your owner's experience. If you enjoyed watching this video, make sure you hit a like and subscribe so you won't miss any future uploads. But until then, here are some other videos you might want to check out.